Hey everybody, it's Steve, Greg here from Brickhouse, and we are getting started on VK56ing my S14. It's the same S14 I've had on the blog since, I guess, 2009. We've had the blog. I've had the car since 2005, and it's sat for the past 6 years in storage in a barn, wrapped in plastic. So it's a little worse for wear, but
yeah, really did it no favors.
yeah, we've managed to find the most skeezy VK56 we could
For your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, for the mock-up engine. So today Greg's already got some
temporary mock-up mounts that we designed a couple weeks ago. Those of you that follow my Instagram would have seen that kind of come to fruition. But we had to halt for a minute because we decided to sort of switch gears and get a sway bar solution figured out for the oil pan, so that way it would make our oil pan fitment better. We're going to start off by removing, editing this power brace that I made many moons ago. It was back when we KT'd the car and Steve went to the track for the first time, maybe?
Yeah.
First, second time. I don't know. So we're going to get rid of that and we'll make room for the new high clearance sway bar.
What are you doing there, Grady?
Being videotaped by an idiot. Just removing the sway bar.
And as this car is in storage for 6 years, I guess in various hot and cold humidity or whatever, wrapped in plastic, it developed like the most weird surface rust and the most weird places. These struts don't matter, but hammered over spot just got all skeezy.
Super skeezy.
Yeah, like super nothing rust, but gonna be annoying to clean it all up. The paint, I mean, it's covered in dust right now, but the paint is still looks pretty darn good, so that's exciting. Spray paint these stupid wiper blades, wiper arms. It looks silly. If anybody's thinking about spray painting their engine bay because it's quick or it's cheap or it's whatever,
Terrible plan.
terrible plan. Here's what spray paint on an engine bay looks like after 6 years, no, 8 years maybe since I did this. With not use, just sitting, it's flaking up and it's all crappy. And yeah, back to what actual automotive proper paint looks like. And we did both. Well, I did the crappy engine bay spray paint, and Craig and I did the exterior. So they're both garage quality. They're both as best as you could do at home, but the results are worlds apart. Look at that crap. So yeah, that's another project for another day. So as Greg and I have been talking about how to do the oil pan and where exactly to locate the engine for the VK56 swap kit components, there's kind of two large obstacles or considerations: shifter placement and the sway bar, the front sway bar. So with the various swaps becoming popular with the LSX stuff and the JZ stuff, even the RB, there's various aftermarket options for both. So for the sway bars, you got Siki or White Line or GK Tech, and then for the shifter, you've got Serial 9 or GK Tech, and then a few others I think are making maybe smaller production run type stuff. So we opted for the GK Tech stuff. Mainly, they've got a pretty good reputation at this point, and they're also the most affordable. So that's good for us. But we also figured any end user might be using that stuff as well. So kind of just a good starting point. So this will give us more clearance at the front of the engine and simplify the oil pan design. We'll see where the shifter location ends up. But hopefully it's something not too far off of stock while keeping it a very bolt-on solution. So we're under the car trying to be sneaky See if we can get the shifter bracket lined up and mounted. Just to check hole position. Hole position. This is the old smell-o-vision stuff. I had a few bikes in here and a bunch of magazines and just randomness that I used the car for storage. Rats got the better of everything, and it really smells foul in here, so it's gonna get super cleaned, among other stuff. But yeah, from above, I'm gonna pull the bikes out, but from above, I'm gonna figure out where we're lined up shifter wise. Alright, so looking at from the underside, this is the selector shaft that sticks out from the trans, and we slid the new linkage thing, bracket, over it, put a pin through it, and then marked our line of where we got to cut it off. And that'll give us clearance for the shifter itself to sit through this square hole here.
Sweet. Oh, for those of you watching, I do all the work, Steve does all the video.
Yeah, it's a pretty good gig. So there's the temporary mounts down there. They're not welded into the plate on the engine side. They're just there to hold the engine in position. That's pretty close to you're thinking it might be. So now we're just going to slide the engine forward a bit to see what we got room-wise with the shifter, where we can get it to line up with the hole.
See if we can't use a stock hole to save cutting. Yada yada.
So as he does that, we just put a little M6 bolt through there for now before we push the pin in finally, or for the final whatever. But there's our cutoff selector shaft, so it's not hanging over here now where it was. It's nice and flush. So we got the engine and trans kind of situated how we like it, and the shifter brackets on the back. Up here in the front we got the new GK Tech sway bar on the car, and you can see it comes, you know, way up here in relation to the engine. And then for comparison, since we have two of these guys, here's a stock S14 sway bar as it would be on the car, and GK Tech has this extra clearance up here versus where it would normally sit, so you're gaining whatever that is, 4 or 5 inches. Here's the guts of
Exploded view.
GK Tech, yeah, shifter. Got to get the bottom bracket mounted up with the shifter.
When you do this, make sure your notch goes right here. Otherwise, you'll be redoing it like I am right now. So that's the reverse lockout notch. Flip it over, throw your bolts in. It takes about 5 minutes, unless you get a power drill, which I probably do, but I'm not using it. Alright, just to check our overall fitment, we threw the center console back on with the shifter trim and the shift knob boot. So yeah, it's, you know, VK56 with the Z-Trans, the GK Tech shifter bracket. It's fitting inside the shifter trim. We just notched a little bit of the opening for the shifter, but it's in the trim, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we've got the shifter located, we got the spacing for the new mount position, so that's what we're going to do in the meantime. This kind of wraps it up for what we wanted to accomplish. So next time we'll be kind of final fitting the motor and the trans cross member